What's up YouTube, NCG here, bringing you what you've been waiting for, an ancient gear deck. So this is basically as cheap as I could possibly make it. So by making it as cheap as possibly make it, if you want to put a bit more investment into this, what I've taken out, so you know, is I've taken out the Solemn Strikes, I've taken out the Regeki for a Dark Hole, and then I've taken out Utopia and Utopia the Lightning for like a Diamond Dire Wolf and a Corrigan Knight, just to make it as cheap as I possibly can for you guys. So basically, as far as I'm concerned, this deck, it would probably only cost you the free structure decks, which in the UK they're going at like £8, £8 to £9 a deck, so £24 let's say, and then the rest of the stuff is like a fiver, if that. So without further ado, I'm going to crack straight into it for you. So we play double Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. So this is the new boss monster of the deck. Absolutely amazing, very, very strong. 3k attack, 3k defense. If this card that was tribute summoned by tributing an Ancient Gear monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. If this card was tribute summoned by tribute summoning the gadget monster, it can make a second attack during each battle phase. If this card attacks, your opponent's spell and trap cards and monster effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked, you destroy one spell or trap card on the field. So he works massively well with Ancient Gear Gadget, because Ancient Gear Gadget counts as both a gadget and an Ancient Gear. Next up we play the one Ancient Gear Golem, because, you know, OG, original boss monster, looks amazing. Like the artwork on this when it first came out was absolutely just wow. So he cannot be special summoned. However, with the new card, well, not new card, but with stuff like Ancient Gear, Catapult and stuff like that, you can just special summon him out. It's a hell of a lot easier to do. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell trap cards until the end of the damage step. So here's just your, you know, nostalgia boss monster. Bring it on. Next we play triple Ancient Gear Wyvern, all in the structure deck on this lot. If this card is normal or special summoned, you add one Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand except itself. Also, you cannot set cards for the rest of the turn. You can only use the effect of Ancient Gear Wyvern once per turn. If this card attacks, your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects to the end of the damage step. So he's a 1700, level 4, bit of a beater, and the idea is he searches you out your fortresses, your cannons and stuff like that. Next up from Raging Tempest, Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. Now this is a really, really good card, and he's probably only about 10p, maybe 10p for a playset. If this card is normal summoned, inflict 600 damage to your opponent, nice burn already. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one Ancient Gear fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. He is your one card poly, so not only does he burn for 600, he's then polying the rest of your monsters to get a bigger beater on board. Next up we play double Ancient Gear Box. This card is just a double searcher. It thins your deck like no tomorrow. So you make Giga X, and then you add this card from your deck to your hand. Then you can add one Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack or defense from your graveyard, from your deck to your hand, except itself. So he searches you out, funnily enough, your Ancient Gear Gadget. If this card is normal or special summoned, you declare one card type, monster, spell or traps. This turn, if a monster you control attacks, your opponent's spell cards, trap cards or monster effects, whichever you declared, cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. Once per turn, you declare one gadget monster's card name. Until the end phase, this card becomes that name. So you want to be bringing him out with either your 2 gold gadgets you play and your 2 silver gadgets you play. So for those of you who don't want to do silvers and golds, basically when they're normal or special summoned, you special summon a level 4 machine monster from your hand. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one level 4 monster from your deck except itself. Same applies for gold. So you bring these guys out, you bring them out with the gadget, and you've just got fodder there to go. So it's very, very good, and it helps you get into your XYZ plays, especially Crooked Cook, which we'll get to when we get to the extra deck. I played a single Maxi, and then I played one Cyber Dragon, just for lols. Like, it's purely for fun. I play a Chimera Tech Cyber Dragon, and it works really, really well if you play the Kaiju engine. So you can put a Kaiju engine here, and if you give them the big machine beater, you can then special summon out, or you get your Cyber Dragon on board and go tag, and then you go into your big machine fortress. It's just another cheap budget way of putting into this deck, that is all. So that's it for your monsters. Now on to the spells. Triple Gear Town, sorry. Both players can normal summon Ancient Gear monsters for 1 less tribute. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your hand, deck or graveyard. Very, very nice. It gets any boss monster out you want. except Ancient Gear Golem, because obviously Ancient Gear Golem says cannot be special summoned. I believe it's Cannon that lets you special summon an Ancient Gear. Yeah, here you go. So it's triple Ancient Gear Catapult. This is awesome. This card is an absolute linchpin in this deck. While you control no monsters, target one face-up card you control, destroy it. So, you know, pop your Gear Towns, pop your fortresses, stuff like that. While you control no monsters, target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one Ancient Gear token. You can only use one Ancient Gear Catapult effect per turn, and only once that turn. So it's very, very nice synergy that works massively well with. So between these three, Gear Town, Fortress, and Catapult, you know, it's insane. So, Fortress, during the turn they were normal summoned or special summoned, your opponents cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with a card effect, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of an Ancient Gear card or cards and effects. If this card is destroyed in the spell and trap card zone, you special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except Ancient Gear monsters. So, you know, the three of these are just, you know, all day long. And you play your double terraforming to search out your Gear Town. Right, now coming up, I've got one Power Bond and I've got two Polys. Now, one of these Polys would be an Overload Fusion, I just don't have one myself. Power Bond is basically Poly on crack, and so is Overload Fusion. So, you know, you just take out a Poly for an Overload Fusion, happy days. You could even double up the Power Bonds if you want to, or double up the Overload Fusions. Very, very simple. Limit removal, this is your game. This is your one card, you know, GG bruh, give up. One Dark Hole, like I said, easily be a Regeki, just trying to keep it as cheap as I can. Double Twin Twisters, a single Soul Charge, because it works massively well with Howlitzer. A Call of the Haunted, now this is Ancient Gear Reborn, I just couldn't find my one, it was so frustrating. But this is Ancient Gear Reborn, a rare in rate, Raging Tempest, and you want Solemn Warning instead of Solemn Strike. So, that is it for the main deck. Now let's get on to the extra deck. Right, you play triple Ancient Gear Howlitzer, so two Ancient Gear monsters, unaffected by other card effects. During your main phase, you can inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. You can only use the effect of Ancient Gear Howlitzer once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So that's very, very nice and very, very important. He's also a level 8, so you can overlay these into number 38, Hope Harbinger. Next up you play double Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. Again, couldn't find my second one, really annoying. So 4 Ancient Gear monsters must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Unaffected by spell and trap effects, your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects during the battle phase. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So this, with a bloody limit removal, is game. Like, there's no way they're surviving that. One Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. Now, I know this has started going up into price, so you can easily take this out. He's not a must. He's just a very, very nice, like, boss option. One Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Now, again, this is just for your Cyber Dragon and one or more machine type monster. You know, if your opponent's playing machines, you know, you're just going to go this card, Cyber Dragon with a normal monster I've special summoned. I mean, if you go Chimera Tech, Cyber Dragon, then you get like a gold gadget and then a silver gadget and whatever. You can end up having 4 machines just on your board, and you can go tag with one of your opponent's machine monsters, and straight out you're going in with a like 4 to 5k Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. It doesn't have to be in here, it's just another cheap, strong option. One Phantom Fortress Enterblathner. So basically once per turn you can detach 1 Xyz from this card, then activate one of these effects, because there are some times when you end up with double 9s on board, and this is one of your very, very nice ones to get to it, because you banish 1 card your opponent controls, banish 1 random card from your opponent's hand, banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard, or banish the top card of your opponent's deck face up. So it's a very, very nice, just banishing your opponent's shite. Number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic. This doesn't need explaining, he's probably one of the best generic level 8s out there. Corrigan Knight and Diamond Direwolves. Diamond Dire can pop your fortresses and your can pop your fortresses and your, what is it called, Gear Towns. God, brain fart. So he's very, very good. You can double him up if you don't want a Corrigan Knight. Corrigan helps you, obviously redirect targets if you need to. But this is kind of like, these were my Utopia plays. You can easily, like I said, you can take out Ultimate Ancient Gear if you want to, or you can take out, where is it? Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and your Cyber Dragon and put another replacement in there, and that's your Utopia play. Then we play one Heavy Armoured Train Iron Wolf. Again, very, very cool. So once per turn, it was in rate, so it's like 50p, if not less. Once per turn, you detach one material from this card, then target one machine type monster you control. This turn, it can attack your opponent directly. Also, other monsters cannot attack. If this card is in your possession and is destroyed by the opponent's card effect, by battle, or effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can add one level 4 machine monster from your deck. So he's a searcher, but the best thing about him is, if you have Blimmin' Chaos Ancient Gear Giant on board, a limit removal, just go Heavy Armor and just go game, just like end it there. Gigarex, very, very standard. Castell, again, very standard. And then number 59, Crookie Cook. Now, this guy is amazing, because let's say you've got a Fortress and a Gear Town in play. You make this guy, while you control no other cards on the field, this card is unaffected by your opponent's card effect. Doesn't matter. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you detach one XZ from this card, destroy as many other cards you control as possible. Then this card gains 300 attack until the end of the turn, for each monster destroyed by this effect. So, you make him with, let's say, Ancient Gear Gadget and Gold Gadget. Doesn't really matter. Any two level 4s that you have on board. Where are you? There we go. Make him like that. Let's say you can have both or just the one in play. But let's say you've got your Fortress in play. You've got your Gear Town in play. You go Effect, Detach, Nuke these, and both these effects going off. So not only are you getting, not only will you have Crookie Cook on board if you've destroyed any other monsters, you're getting a boost, but you're then going to end up with one Ancient Gear monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which can easily be your Reactor Dragon. And then you're going to have Ancient Gear Fortress, which gives you, again, another Ancient Gear monster. So if you then have a Catapult, that is pretty much game, because you can just sit your board like, you know, I believe you can end a board like that, and it's, you know, that's just devastating. And there's your level 9 rank up overlay. So it's a very, very good deck. The deck is very, very fun, very, very cheap to make, and it'll be a lot easier. So the difference between this and the Dinos, yes, Dinos are stronger. Unfortunately, they are. However, to complete this deck and make it max power, probably what, 20 more pound, maybe 30 more pound if you want to be putting your strikes and your strikes and lightnings and stuff like that, but they're not needed. Whereas with Dinos, unfortunately, to make Dinos with True Kings, the field spell is going to be high rarity, and that's going to be very expensive to make. So yeah, this is probably your best cheaper option, and just have fun with it. It's awesome. Just like they're a natural out to stuff like Crystal Wing. You don't have to worry about clearing them off. And then, like I said, if you put a Kaiju engine in here with the machine monsters, you know, you're going a little bit further. You could even play artifacts if you really, really wanted to with Crookie Cook, just as an option. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, see ya.